So I just got done watching the Golden State Warriors versus the Los Angeles Lakers preseason game, and man, I am thoroughly impressed. And I'm not the type of guy to be impressed by preseason because I understand it's just preseason basketball. It's not, game one or, week 30, whatever, right? I understand that this is like the beginning of basketball. Like this is, getting the kinks out, getting plays right, getting defensive schemes going. But man, watching the Warriors play basketball, watching Chris Paul on that team, swinging the ball, moving the ball, cutting, making the right reads. I mean, overall, man, I don't know. I feel like these Warriors are one piece away from winning a championship. Let's talk about it. So I watched the whole game against the Golden State versus Lakers. And by the way, forgive me for all this background. It was my daughter's birthday. She turned 2 a couple days ago, October 4th. Beautiful party. We had a little hookup for her. She loved it, all that good stuff, right? But back to basketball. Talk about Chris Paul, right? And everybody says, oh, Chris Paul's old. He's a 2010 Shaq and all these old memes and saying, oh, this is nasty, man. I don't see anything nasty with this team now, man. With Chris Paul, Steph, Clay, those three solid guys are going to be good for this team. Draymond, Kuminga, Looney, those guys are going to be really good. As I watched the offensive flow of this team, it just flowed so perfectly as they were cutting, swinging the ball. Chris Paul shooting those little middies he usually always shoots. Steph shooting what he usually shoots. Clay looking a lot more energetic and like himself in this preseason game. I know it's just preseason, but, showing his true colors early, showing how, he used to look, but he played pretty good. But overall, man, I think this team is just one person away from a championship. And everybody might look at me crazy when I say that, but this team is really good offensively. Now, defensively, I know they're small, CP, Steph, and Draymond, small, big man. But overall, man, if they can get one solid big man, defensive anchor who can pretty much finish and set screens, man, this team might win a championship this year. This might be Chris Paul's year. This might be the chance Chris Paul has to finally win a ring and finally get what he wants. Now, my NBA prediction is obviously the Nuggets. I think the Nuggets are going to win back-to-back this year. They pretty much have the same exact team. Losing Jeff Green and also losing Bruce Brown was tough, but overall, man, they're still the same team. Still got good backups. Still got good players, role players that can play, and they have Jokic, the best player in the NBA. So, regardless of all that, man, I think Denver will repeat. But if the Warriors stay healthy, if the Warriors can pick up a good solid big besides Looney and Kuminga, like a solid defensive big who just stays in the paint, clogs the paint, etc., this team is looking scary in the West. So my finals prediction is the Nuggets and the Bucks. And yes, I had a video about the Bucks saying that the Bucks, might not succeed with Damian Lillard, but what I mean by that, and let me elaborate that more, is yes, in the East, they're going to dominate. They're going to dominate regardless. Yes, they're going to do their thing. They're going to win games, but I feel like they're not good enough to beat any of the top West teams. Now, if Denver goes to the finals, they're not beating Denver. If the Suns go to the finals, they're not beating the Suns. If the Warriors go to the finals, they're not beating the Warriors. If somehow the Grizzlies go to the finals, they're not beating the Grizzlies. Somehow the Clippers get James Harden, they're not going to win the finals. All these good, solid West teams, I feel like they're not going to be able to beat. I feel like they're not, not saying they're not talented enough, but they don't have enough to beat these teams in the West. But overall, like I said, I have Denver winning the finals, but I mean, if the Warriors pick up a big, like I said, it might be wraps. But we're going to see during the season, man. I think it's going to be a good, interesting season, especially seeing Chris Paul and see if he can stay healthy and that whole team can stay healthy as the Warriors, man. I don't know. That team is dangerous. Let me know what you think in the comments, man. Who's winning the NBA championship this year, man? I know I talked about a lot of Chris Paul and how their offense flowed and how good they looked. Even though it's preseason, it still looks solid. Let me know what you think. Let me know who's winning the finals this year. Who y'all got this year, man? Thanks for listening this time, Nation. Road to 500 subscribers. Let's get it.